Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Going Dark podcast, episode number 30.
39.
Nine. I mean, listen,
we're getting to 50. We're getting close.
50.
Actually,
50's going to feel good, man.
I told everybody, I said, yo, at episode 50, and I'm still planning on doing this. This is going to happen. I said I will have a different camera when episode 50 rolls around.
Hey, make sure you subscribe, guys, because the more subscriptions we get, the more podcasts we do.
It's coming around. Episode 50, we're 11 away. But yeah, I wanted to really do one today, and I'm sure you did as well, because there's a lot that went down.
Speaking of coming around,
yeah.
Call of Duty is back.
Call of Duty is back. Let's just say that right off the bat. For context, I was away for like 4 days. You know, I had like a friend's like engagement thing to go to, and then basically had like a last little mini like summer vacation. So I just came home last night. I'm like still kind of a little bit out of it, trying to catch up on existing as a human being.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, a lot happened it actually happened like while I was at the airport about ready to fly. So I'm like, okay, you know, things are going down. I got the tweet like that Call of Duty was making that big change right before I got on my flight. So I'm like, oh, we got to see what the replies are after I land.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have bought Wi-Fi. Dude, I would have not been able to. I would have not been able to sit there and been like, I wonder what people are saying.
Yo, before we talk about COD, I got a question. Do you raw dog flights?
No. No, I can't, dude. That's insanity if you can do that. I have downloaded shows, YouTube videos, music. Usually download them and then still buy Wi-Fi. Like I just can't. I can't do it.
I had to ask. I'm like, do we have any flight raw doggers in the chat? But anyways, it was a short flight, so I was like, I'm gonna get to this stuff in like an hour. And when I did, I feel like, dude. I mean, we'll get into it, but. Yeah. What a crazy move for them to make. Like that is a big deal when the game is coming out in just a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's huge. So I guess I'll start by asking, I'm curious, what was your initial gut reaction to the announcement?
So there's probably like 4 different answers you can probably give for this, but
also sorry, before you continue, not to cut you off, but we should, for context for everybody listening, we should explain what happened.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well. Just so I know we know what we're talking about, but just for everyone else's sake who's listening, like we should make clear what we're referring to, what the announcement was.
So initially, for anything that was Black Ops 6 related, skins, guns, all that crap you buy in the store, it was going to come into Black Ops 7 in season 1. Seems to be a trend, correct? Like that's been the trend. And everybody has kind of pushed back, more pushback this year than any other year prior because of what you see as you play the game now. And out of nowhere, out of the blue, they come out and say, we're canceling it for good. It's not going to come season 1, 2, 3, 4. It ain't coming at all. BO6 is staying in BO6. So to answer your first question, I want to say I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. I know that doesn't really make any sense, but I was shocked in the case of like, holy crap, this might be the first time that Call of Duty has listened in what feels like forever. And on top of that, I wasn't shocked because I know how much pressure Battlefield is putting on these guys, and they can act like it's not Battlefield. But there's just been too much happening on Call of Duty's side that feels like, okay, we might actually have to try this year. And I said it in one of my videos recently. Think back to the last time Call of Duty has had to try in a first-person shooter market. I mean, X-Defiant-ish, maybe. Halo Infinite flopped. Battlefield flopped. Splitgate was there for 3 weeks. It's like you might be going back to 2016 Battlefield 1. That was the game that I had in my head. So
the old Infinite Warfare and Battlefield clash again.
And you see
very reminiscent of what we've got right now.
So everybody kind of immediately called back to that. And I'm like, you know what? Guys, this is good news. Like if you're I said this one podcast, and I think I probably repeated it myself a bunch of times, but I just remember back when Madden and NBA Live, these games had all this competition, like especially Madden. Madden had like Quarterback Club, NFL Blitz, 2K, Madden was the game, obviously. And I think there was like Game Day, another one. There was 5 football games, maybe more actually. And it's just like, that's when they were innovating. And the last good Madden was probably 20 years ago. And so when there's no competition, people can just go, hey, let's put the same game out here. People always complain it's the same game, but then when there's like competition and then they listen, they're like, oh, Call of Duty. I don't know. People get angry. I feel for Call of Duty sometimes because it's like I saw people roasting the decision. They're like, oh, why? I'm like, why would you not want them to do this? Yeah,
well,
whatever.
There's a lot of reasons we can talk about that.
Yeah,
which,
whatever motive,
we'll get into.
Whatever motive is your motive. Who cares? They reversed it. It's not happening. Good. So that's the kind of frustration. I'm like, guys, this is a good thing. Except for the 4 people that want to bring their American Dad skin into Black Ops 7, but go play Fortnite or something.
It's a very like difficult topic, but also at the same time, I feel pretty cut and dry about my feelings on the matter. I'm almost completely universally in favor of not having carry forward. Dude, literally, as soon as we were in the presentation, like when I went to play it, before we played, they showed us one of the first slides was like carry forwards coming to the game, and I'm like, here we go. I'm like, that was the one thing that I wasn't impressed with.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know if this is a great idea. And that was the one thing I was extremely skeptical on. And I'll explain a lot of my reasons why, and you can tell me what you think about these. My big issue with carry forward is like, obviously what Call of Duty tweeted fundamentally is they've been listening to our complaints that are in regards to identity and what the game is. And not only what the game is as a brand, let's say Call of Duty, but even the games individually. And I feel like we have had a loss in both the brand sense of COD, but also between individual games. Essentially, what they said was like, hey, for the most part, Black Ops 6 content will not carry forward to Black Ops 7. And I'm like, why is that a problem at all? I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. Good. Like, what's in BO6 should be in BO6. Now, I did have some people replying to me, and I'm speaking mostly from a Zombies perspective, but some people were like, oh, our Easter egg reward skin should carry over to BO7 for that crew. But I'm like, I don't think they should, because you earned that
in BO6
skin for that map, for that game, for that character. You know what I mean? Like the characters from BO6 are going to be in BO7, but they're going to have their own skins for this game, right? Like you're going to have new things to earn for them that are more of a signifier of, I don't know, completion for BO7. I'm a big fan of like what's in BO6 is in BO6, and that's like what you get out of that. And then what's in BO7 will be what they made for that game. And especially in regards to the weapon pool. This is a big problem I had, is that maybe it's different in Warzone, and I can't speak on that too much because I'm not as familiar, but I never understood the decision of carrying forward Modern Warfare 2 weapons into MW3 because they were all bad for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, they were not meta. They were not competitively viable with the new MW3 weapons. I mean, unless I'm wrong in like multiplayer, but I don't think they were. MW2 weapons were always like just a touch not as good as the Modern Warfare 3 stuff. So I'm like, why are they even there? And in BO7, if all of the BO6 weapons carried forward, then I'm like, you're taking away the attention from the new 30 plus new weapons in BO7, but you're going to dilute it with all of these Black Ops 6 guns. But the crux of the matter is like, when you think about what makes a Call of Duty special, identifiable, and something you really connect or don't connect with, a lot of that I think has to do with the weapon roster. When you think of different Call of Duty games over the years, you think of, oh my god, I love the FAMAS in BO1. Oh my god, I love the AN94 in BO2.
I was going to bring that up.
You think about the weapon roster that it offered, that really solidifies the experience of what that was. And if you muddy the water with BO6 guns into BO7, then you lose that entirely. People go, oh yeah, man, I love having less content. It's at this point, it's a quality over quantity issue. I would rather have much more quality but fewer weapons than just a big bloated list
Well,
of 300 weapons I'm never gonna touch.
well, again, I brought this up, and let me know if you agree with this. I brought it up I don't know. I thought I was talking to you about it, but when you bought weaponized 115 and you bought the Peacekeeper in BO2, when Ghost came out, you weren't complaining back then of like, hey, where's my
yeah.
Peacekeeper, bro? It's like you bought that for BO2. So to me, I had a couple people argue when I said like it's good. I tweeted it out like, wow, what a great decision. And people are like, I bought this, I should be able to do with what I want with it. I'm like, yeah, in the game that you bought it for.
In the game that you bought it for.
That's
right.
exactly what I said.
People go, oh, but yeah, like, then what's the whole point of like COD HQ unifying these experiences? I'm not going to defend COD HQ. I'm not a fan. I think that they're slowly trying to move away from COD HQ anyways, which I think is wonderful. Like, give the games more separation. I would vouch for that any day. But that I would agree with you. A microtransaction that you purchased of your own volition in a game, I cannot feel bad if your microtransaction does not go to another game. Like, you buy the product for the game that you're buying it for. Like, you should be able to use that forever in BO6 for sure, but that doesn't need to carry forward to every future Call of Duty iteration. Like, that's, and I would say that's for weapons, that's for like, and it does also have the upside of keeping the game hopefully more immersive, more grounded. I think that's great that we're not going to have all of the carry forward operator skins for season 1 into BO6, with the caveat that I hope that I can trust Activision and Treyarch enough to recognize that that was a big step for them to make and then commit to it and not do anything like crazy absurd for BO7 later down the road. I think the goodwill that they've bought with this decision can be maintained if they hold to that the entire year. That's TBD.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest argument I got from people was like, they're just going to turn around and do another collab and do another crazy skin 6 months from now. And like you just said, it'll be TBD. If that's the case, then
I won't defend it at that point.
Exactly.
Like,
that's
sure, whatever.
I mean, at that point,
like,
it is what it is. We can't really do much about it. Besides, I don't know what you can do. You either got to accept what's happening, or I want to say just keep fighting back, but I feel like sometimes it just gets annoying. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna, and I think that's why so many people have taken a break. I did this on my video. I said this on my video, and I stand by this. I think that they lost more people than they thought. Like, yes, you can make a quick buck with selling a $20 bundle, but when you lose players over time and people that were fans of your series since 2007 leave for good, leave for good and go play whatever game you want to play, it just, you're gonna lose the steady, it's gonna be that steady decline rather than, I think they're going for the quick buck, but then they come down quickly. So I think that they maybe realized that. I do think a lot of it had to do with Battlefield. I think if Battlefield wasn't a thing this year and it didn't get the reception it got, it wasn't number one in pre-orders, I don't know if they would change. And that's unfortunate that I had to think that way, but they haven't given us any evidence to think otherwise. They didn't change. Modern Warfare 2 didn't change. Modern Warfare 3 didn't really need a change because it was pretty much like all remastered. So it was like they weren't really doing anything annoying, I guess. Like there wasn't anything in MW3, right? That was like maybe a couple skins, but it wasn't terrible. But then like BO6,
I think MW3 found itself in being its own unique brand of weird.
Yeah.
Like that was, I don't know, at least for me, when I played MW3 late in its life cycle, I was like, oh, this is actually delightful because it is, they're not trying to be MW2 anymore. And like they were in the beginning, like they were trying to be this MW2 remastered, and then they weren't. But they kind of committed to that aesthetic. They weren't trying to drop like remasters of MW2 throughout the whole year. They did it right at the launch, and then we're just doing like our own thing for the rest. And like I think it found its own unique brand of weird that wasn't for everybody, but it was cool. With BO7, it's like, okay, well, what do people want? Because initially everybody was complaining that the game's identity is going to be chalked season 1 because
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead and Ninja Turtles are going to be in the game, which, fair enough. I kind of agree. But now that Carry Forward's not coming, like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I don't really get why Carry Forward needs to even. I never understood its utility really to begin with, other than like Warzone stuff, which is its own thing. But again, I'm maybe ignorant
Which
on that because I don't play
that's all
Warzone.
going. I don't know if you just said that, but that's all going over. Like it's staying
To
in
Warzone?
Warzone. Yeah, it's staying.
Okay,
The
that's fine.
Beavis will
Like,
be in Verdansk. But that gives us to our point that we've been talking about the last 8 months since we did this podcast. Warzone should just be its own thing. Like,
yeah, 100%.
The majority of these people that like the skins, I'm pretty sure they're playing Warzone anyway because they're not attached to the franchise like somebody was that was around since 2007. They're around since 2020. They have a very short perspective. There was Blueprints right away. There was the Saw skin. There was, what was the ones in Cold War? It was Rambo. Like they're used to this. I don't want to say weirdness, but a little bit of weirdness. So it's like we should just let them do their thing. And when I load into Verdansk and I see Beavis, I'm just like, hey, I know where I'm at right now. This is on me. If I get offended at this is on me.
And I thought about this too with the zombies argument. I saw some zombie players like disappointed that Carry Forward is like more or less canceled for zombies, which I will say this as a caveat. We don't know exactly what is or isn't carrying forward. I even asked them when I was at Treyarch, like I tried to get some concrete answers myself about like what exactly that means. They wouldn't even tell us.
Yeah.
So for the record, we don't know exactly the specifics on this, but some people were like, oh, well, my augments for my perks aren't going to carry forward. It looks like Gobblegums still are, which, is fine, I guess. But other than that, I think it's just that stuff, which like to me is best case scenario, because when a new zombie game comes out, like you should have to relearn that zombies game or start from the ground again. Like I don't know where this idea came from that we need to be that people's progression needs to be multi-game. Like maybe it's the COD HQ thing, I don't know, but I'm like, when BO6 is over, that epoch is done. BO7 is a chance to like start fresh from the perspective of a lot of things, but most importantly, like player progression. You start at level 1 again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't. Well, right. Like, I don't deserve to be level 300 to start, like, Prestige Master level 300.
I hated that.
Day 1 of BO7. That's dumb. Like, I should be level 1 again. I should unlock things as if I'm a level 1 again.
I agree.
Your progression and your commitment to those games, like, they're not meaningless. They should be commended, but they should be commended in the context of BO6.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get this. Because at that point, then just make it DLC. If you want it to, you know what I mean?
Well, that it should be titled DLC then at that point, like you said. Then it makes sense to bring stuff over. That makes perfect sense.
Agree.
But if
it was BO6 year 2, Carry Forward's fine.
Yeah,
I'm all for that. But if you're gonna call it a new game, it must be a new game.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm still excited. I'm telling you, man. We talked about it the day after, and I was excited for the game. I felt like they're taking feedback on like the movement being a little too quick this year, and they're changing it, making it a little slower in multiplayer, I guess. But a little bit of wall bouncing. Like I feel like this game is setting up to be a BO2, BO3 style game. Like where it's futuristic. People don't like futuristic titles, but somehow futuristic titles are usually some of the most well liked by the end of the life cycle, and with this move, also, pretty good.
Also, the other thing with that is like we haven't had a futuristic COD in quite a long time, and I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot of the community asking for that again.
Yeah,
like it's come back around. Like, oh, we're gonna get a futuristic COD, and it's not even that futuristic. It's about the same futurism as Battlefield, if I'm not mistaken. I think isn't Battlefield 6 also in 2035?
I think so.
It's very close.
It looks different.
Like almost the exact same year.
It's a different 2035 though, for sure.
Oh my god, I just thought about that. I'm like BO6 and BO7. If I'm getting this correctly, let me make sure I am. But I'm pretty sure they're both in 2035.
I think you're right. Which would be kind of crazy.
2027. Okay, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
not quite as
But even then, I don't think the world would change that much between
oh, boo-hoo,
35
you
and
know.
27.
Yeah. Like, it's it's not 7-year difference, boo-hoo. But like they're both like a very distant future games kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So there's no I don't think there's any hate that's warranted on the setting alone. You can argue like style or even the direction they're taking some things. Like I get that. Sure, that's fair. But like to write it off because it's a futuristic COD is asinine. And it's Infinite Warfare again. Like everyone's disliking the trailer, but I bet you we come back 4 years from this podcast, people are going to be, "You know what? I think I treated this game too harshly. It wasn't that bad.
yeah,
This was the last good COD before it went downhill. I've seen this for 20 years, bro."
yeah. This Call of Duty's been dead since. I mean, what year does it start being? Probably the first year I heard it was dead was
2009.
I was gonna say probably AW would probably be the first one where I'm like Call of Duty's dead. I heard like the discussions or something like that, but
I feel like it definitely goes earlier than that. You can look at bro, you can go
yeah,
back
you're
on like
probably
old
right.
forum posts and like dude, people like even the reaction to BO2 first being revealed. They're like,
I know. I said I remember looking at BO2 from a futuristic Call of Duty. I'm like, eesh, I don't know about this.
yeah, they're like, this isn't Black Ops, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
um,
I'm excited for the futuristic setting. I think I might have said this. I'm kind of over the modern setting too, which I know
mhm.
that's kind of what everybody looks forward to with MW4. Kind of the leaks happening with that. We'll talk about that in a second, but I'm kind of over that too. It's like MW19. Like when you get two in a row, like if Black Ops 7 would have been in like the whatever era. What was it? Cold War era? I don't even know what era this was
Yep.
in this game. So if it would have been back to back Cold War, I'd have been like, I don't want Cold War for 10 years. I'm still a little burnt out from two Modern Warfares right in a row.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's MW4 next year, I'm like, like I'm okay. And this is what I always loved about the old school design that they had with the studios and all that. It was like World War II, then it was modern, and then it was not World War II, but it was like past. I guess it's past and present kind of thing. It was like past, present, and then we got a futuristic Call of Duty. But then we got three in a row, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, so
But
it's
they
like
all had but even then they all had very different styles.
very different, very different.
I don't think we get that difference in style anymore because the studios are so collaborative now. Like you look at
Yeah,
even
yeah,
the you look at the credits of BO6 and it's
it's
like
all of them.
Beanox, Sledgehammer, IW, Treyarch, Raven, right? And then but you'll look at Modern Warfare 4 next year allegedly, and it'll say Treyarch, Raven, IW, Sledgehammer. You know, it'll be
Yeah,
everybody again. So
yeah,
the games don't have as much individual style anymore between each other. But that's the whole thing I'm talking about. That's literally like the overarching idea behind Carry Forward and why I'm against it is like the games should be more separate rather than joined. And like, you know, people can complain that COD HQ sucks for that very reason, and I would agree. I hate COD HQ. I
yeah,
wish they would do away with that as soon as possible.
yeah.
Um, establish more individuality between games again. I'm all for getting rid of COD HQ. And I never really thought Carry Forward made sense. So, anyways, I'm very glad with that decision. I think they've handled it pretty well. I know a lot of people call you a shill if you give them
Say
credit for any
anything.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm like, in this case, there was feedback, they listened, and they acted on it. I don't know what else like
yeah,
you want, you know? It's
yeah.
like
I agree. I think that's the biggest problem we have. It's like a disconnect between like the player base and I guess even creators maybe is like
mhm.
me as a creator, if I come out and say Call of Duty sucks, like I feel like you're always on the good side maybe, but then as soon as you are like, "Oh wow, they made a move to make Call of Duty suck less," you then all of a sudden become a shill and you like they just you're
Even
the
if you
enemy.
hate the game, well,
You're the
even if you hate the game, that people come after you on Twitter, like saying that you know you're the reason that the games suck. It's like, so that's you can't really win. It's just, and the other thing is like you know, I've already played Black Ops 7, and people will take that already and be like, "Oh, your Activision bought you. You're an Activision shill now." But people don't understand this. Like, my loyalty isn't tied to like that. I don't really care if, I mean, I'm grateful to get invited to these events
Yeah.
for sure. But I don't, if I never got invited to another event, it doesn't bother me. Like, I wouldn't really care all that much. Like, they're cool to go to, and I'm, again, very thankful, but I'm not, my entire livelihood doesn't depend on going to these random events. Like, and also people think that it's like a top-down Activision influencing my opinion on the game.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like you can also look at it from the perspective, which I think is more accurate, that I get to finally be a mouthpiece for my audience and my own opinions. Like, I at least insofar as my community is concerned, I'm pretty in touch with what a lot of the zombies community thinks, what we want as fans, and, you know, people that love the mode. So it's a unique opportunity for me to be a mouthpiece to give direct feedback to devs, which a lot of people just don't have. You know, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to like speak directly to Treyarch about stuff.
Exactly.
So I get to be a mouthpiece for those issues. It's like, you can look at me as a shill, or you can look at me as like,
I'm trying to help.
bringing up
I'm
legitimate
on your side.
trying to help, you know, push the game in the direction that we all want it to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do at these events. Like, Activision isn't, we're not sitting there in the Black Ops 1 chair and they're like giving us like,
I will
holding our eyes
say,
open
and tell me what you think about this. I'm hoping that this will, this Battlefield versus Call of Duty will open up the line of communication a little bit more with Call of Duty, because I feel like ever since Modern Warfare 19 and I can't remember her name, but she got like roasted on Twitter, and I feel like ever since then they just shut down having like a community manager. And
for IW specifically, or just generally?
I think, in my opinion, in general. But I remember, like, we said this last podcast too, but I feel like when Battlefield was, the beta was out, multiple devs followed me on Twitter because I was playing it from like a Call of Duty perspective. And they're replying to me, and they're like, "Hey, like, what can we do? Like, what do you think about this and that?" And I learned over there, Battlefield's just as hardcore about their game that Call of Duty is about theirs. Because I'm like, okay, if I suggest that I should be able to move a little quicker, dude, you're gonna get roasted. So, I tried to have that perspective when I was judging Battlefield, but I did give a couple suggestions in terms of like the way things, you know, operated. But for the most part, I just thought it was cool that they were replying to me and saying, "Hey, you know, what's going on? How'd you enjoy it?" And there wasn't a lot to not like about the beta, so that also helps too.
No, I agree. The beta was excellent.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
and here's the other thing too, is not to cut you off, but I'm sure you'll probably agree. I don't know why it has to be so hostile. Like,
yes, agreed.
BO7 and Battlefield 6 are gonna be great games.
Totally different games.
Yeah, they're very different. They're not ever replacements for one another. And anybody who thinks they are clearly knows nothing about the history of any one of these games.
Yeah.
Like, they're both excellent in their own respective thing. Like, I'm going to enjoy Battlefield as much as I'm going to enjoy COD this year.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I really hope that Call of Duty can realize, I don't know if I saw this or not, maybe you can correct me. I feel like they were recently looking for a community manager. I don't know why. Yeah, I thought somebody had tweeted that, and I had seen a couple people.
Maybe they did. I haven't seen it.
Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know where I saw that, but I definitely saw it. But like, maybe they're planning this year, maybe they're planning next year to kind of get back into the swing of things of like actually replying back to people like, "Hey, we see that. Okay, cool. Like, thanks for," or maybe it's for this beta. We don't know. The beta isn't out yet for Black Ops 7, but I would love to see these guys way more active on Twitter. And you know what? I'm the larger of a creator I've gotten, not saying I'm anywhere near anybody crazy, but I mean, I hate to say this, but you're going to get hate messages. Like, it just is what it is. And you got to be able to shrug it off and be like, this person would never say this to me in real life. Like, that's what I always think about that, because these people hide behind a screen. It could be a bot for all I know. So,
dude, yeah, I mean, that's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it could be a bot. It could be somebody just like trolling and they're just trying to get a rise out of me. or it's somebody that's just upset with their life is how I
Sure. Yep.
kind of do it. Now, some people do give criticism well, and maybe they have a
Yeah.
little extra tone on it that maybe they just haven't, dialed that in yet. But I think, I have to say this on the podcast. I did a video the other day on my second channel. And I forgot to mention this to you before we went online. And this is all, you don't even know what I'm about to say. I
Okay.
played Helldivers 2 for the first time. Okay. And when I tell you my YouTube comment section for my second channel is I am getting roasted because,
Really?
oh, I'm getting roasted. The Helldivers community found this video and they do not like me very much. And there's like a tweet,
Whoa.
because, okay, so to summarize, I bought like their battle pass, like tokens or whatever to go try to play like that. Hey, I wanted the Halo armor and
Oh, yeah,
the
the
Halo
ODST
gun.
collab.
Right. So I thought you could just buy the coins and then buy the stuff like you could buy it in Call of Duty. Like you buy COD points, and then if you see a LC10 bundle, you just buy it, and then you have the LC10. Well, it's more like a Fortnite battle pass. So like you buy the Halo pass, and then you got to play the game, and then you earn it. And I'm just getting roasted for not answering the comments and not paying attention to the details. And I don't even know where I was going with that. Where was I going with that? Just the amount of comments that were just negative and like saying I was an idiot and like go back to COD. I'm just like, it really doesn't bother me that much because I know that this is just like the internet is just this funny thing where you feel like it's the whole entire world, and then you go walk out and go get your groceries and nobody has any idea who you are. Like,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it's one of those things where, yeah, it was probably a bad video. I probably did a bad job of playing the game, but again, it was the first time I played it. So I didn't really like know exactly what I was doing. That's kind of the point of the video.
Also, you have the unfortunate or fortunate position of putting that out there on the internet where it's like a lot of people probably played Helldivers for the first time, made a fool of themselves, but that wasn't on video.
That is actually a really
like,
good point. I'm hoping I'm not the only one who bought that Halo thing and went, holy crap, I don't get this right away. I got to play.
A lot of people get to make their gaming mistakes or their gaming takes like in a private setting where they're not exposed to and that's the things like, our natural response as people is like, oh, if 80 people are calling me a terrible person, I must be a bad person.
Yeah.
But then again, you go outside and it's normal
and nobody's even seen that video.
Nobody's coming after you. Nobody's like at your house with like a torch, like.
So if you guys are watching this podcast, please, this is my one plug. Please go to that video and write a nice comment, because right now it's got 571 likes and 944 dislikes. I got the red lightsaber old school YouTube bar. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
sick.
remind me never to play that game again. That'll probably be my one time. The community, it kind of reminded me of when the Battlefield was like fighting back with Call of Duty people. Like Call of Duty were saying like, oh, we want this and this, and they're like, leave us alone. Like, go to your.
Love gatekeeping your games.
Yeah, I don't understand that mindset. Like, I mean, the only time I guess I've really had that
Elden
mindset
Ring
is
community is like that a little bit too. I mean, that hasn't stopped me from making content, and I'm not going to. But like when I was first initially dabbling into it, people are like, go back to COD, and I'm like, no.
Well,
I enjoy this game. I'm gonna
exactly. I wanted to try to learn it, and of course I messed up. But people were also commenting the longer I played, they're like, okay, you started to understand it. People that gave that video 5 minutes, oh, they're gonna think I'm the worst. But the video's 2 hours long, so I eventually got it. Had to call stuff. Did you ever play Helldivers?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I was just learning, how to call resupplies the miniguns.
Helldivers is really a lot about like player etiquette, and so like you learning the player etiquette is gonna take a little while.
Yes.
Like and everybody who learned that, if they're not being recorded and uploaded on the internet, they get to make those mistakes in private and don't have everybody coming after them for it. But you uploaded your first games on the internet, so people are gonna be like, yeah, this guy is stupid as hell. Like he's just, it is what it is.
I actually talked to Rob about it too a little bit. Rob TV, I am Rob, and he was like, dude, I still get those comments on my videos, and that dude's like, the king of platinum trophies. He still will get people going like, you should have played the game like this, and he's like, dude, let me just experience it as a first time player. Like, let me make the mistakes. Like, yeah, I made them, but hey, it is what it is.
That's why that's partially why you watch those videos, because you see if like, because as somebody who's like maybe played the game before, you kind of know like where you stumbled yourself, and you want to see if somebody else makes those same mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's like the goal is not to be um like discouraging to them for making those mistakes, but it's like, oh, you made those too, I did the same thing. It's like,
It was
it's just too serious, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, I will say I've done like, this was not scheduled in the podcast, guys, but it just was happening right now. I apparently I'm on Reddit. Like, I'm getting tagged as we're sitting here, so that's why I'm like kind of, this is in real time. There was a whole Reddit post about me how I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, dude, you got to get off Reddit. That's
no, I actually deleted my Reddit account because, dude, you go on that page, man, and there's not one positive piece of news in the entire world when you go on Reddit.
I learned that lesson very quick as a YouTuber. I used to like use Reddit a lot.
Yeah.
In like 2016, and as soon as I started getting traction on YouTube in like 2017, then all like the nasty threads that would get made about me, and I'm like, it would just make me miserable.
Yeah.
And I got rid of Reddit so fast, I've never looked back. It's like,
and you're completely fine for it. But
I'll never get on that site again.
I don't know where I was going with that either, but I was thinking about, I was just gonna say how well it, like, the channel's been doing great. Like, the videos have been doing well. This is the first one that the community has come for my neck. Like, GTA, Ready or Not, Battlefront 2, Red Dead Redemption. Like, I'm just chilling, and I'm probably doing the same thing in those games. Like, just absolutely terrible at them. But I think I just got to get used to, hey, if you got some people that are super serious about their game and you kind of make it look bad, they're gonna come defend it. Because I gave the game a 3 out of 5 after my 2 hours of playing. Because,
okay.
but I said the gameplay feels great. The game feels great. I'm just not a PvE guy. Like, I'd give DMZ a 0 out of 5 on Call of Duty. Like, sure. that doesn't matter to me if it's a Call of Duty or not. So that was a side note, but it was in front of me right now as I have Twitter up for Charlie Intel stuff. But
yeah. The point is, internet stuff is just so fake, dude.
It really is.
And
it really is.
With all the, and again, it's like what we were talking about off camera before we started. I was talking about, like, there's always like a target. Somebody's getting targeted. It's like, it's a marathon, or it's Black Ops 7, or it's whatever. Like,
I'm just the target of the day today now.
Yeah.
Or maybe the week because of Helldivers.
It'll go away.
Yeah.
It's like, and it'll go away from Black Ops 7 eventually too. So I'm like, I'm not getting too internet pilled about this stuff. It's like, I'm appreciating what Call of Duty did and the decision they made. I think it's big time for the game. I'm excited for Black Ops 7. I think it's going to be a solid game. I'm also excited for Battlefield 6, which I also think is going to be a solid game. I got Night Rain DLC to play this year. I got other stuff coming next year. I'm like, I just like video games, man. I just enjoy video games, and that's as far as it goes for me. Nobody buys my opinion. Nobody's purchased me. I just like video games, and I like that I get to share it with people, and it's like, that's really as deep as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
the other point is, don't use Reddit.
Yeah, no.
Delete Reddit.
Deleting Reddit was a great decision, and I've actually been on Twitter a lot lately, though. That's kind of my biggest thing right now.
Twitter's my my vice too, my unhealthy vice.
Yeah,
I wish I could use it less. But
I wish there was a way you could, like, edit your feed. I know they say, like, see stuff less often, and I do that, and it does work, but it's like, I do miss not having a For You page. Like, I wish it was just following again, because I know I looked at it way less, because I just went, okay, I'm caught up. Don't see anything good. All right, moving on.
Elon's whole thing was like, yeah, man, we want to maximize unregretted user minutes. I'm like, every time I scroll on the For You page, I regret my whole life for 10 minutes after. I'm like, I regret everything.
No, I don't blame you. Actually, I want to do one.
By the way, this is a funny side note. I still have Twitter. Like, the actual like Twitter app. I
Oh,
haven't
you never
updated it
updated.
to X. No, I still have the original Twitter. I was looking online too. I was like, phones on eBay with Twitter installed were selling for like $20,000. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey,
I'm
it
not.
might be time, baby. So do you have a For You page?
Yeah, of course.
Huh.
But like my feed still says tweets. Like it's still Twitter.
Okay. Yeah.
And even if I update it, I'm not gonna call it X. It's stupid. It's gonna be
I've been
Twitter to
calling.
me.
I still tweet like, "Hey guys, if you see this tweet, blank." Like it's just that's just what it's
It
called,
makes
man.
more because if you say post, that could be referring to anything.
It could be referring to Facebook. It could be referring to
Yeah, you
it's
say
just
tweet because it's Twitter.
that exactly right. Yeah. So anyway, I gained subscribers from that video though, Chops. This is what I'm talking about.
From the Helldivers one?
Exactly right.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. It's like I posted some Elden Ring videos that had not like an insane dislike bar, but close to like a 50-50.
Yeah.
But they've done great and I've gained a lot of subscribers from them. And it's like that, you know, they're any like community I think that you try to venture into to some degree is you're gonna have some pushback, but like I'm not gonna stop. If there's a game that I'm like really passionate about, even if there's some like gatekeeping from the community, it's like I'm
So your
just gonna keep doing my thing.
your first couple were disliked pretty good.
Yeah. They're like, go back to COD. Yeah, they're like opinion disregarded COD player. I'm like, okay.
That's actually good.
But-
That's actually good to hear because this is my first taste of that. So I think, like I said, my other ones were
Normal.
received very well. And
Yeah, and you might strike a more sensitive nerve every now and again.
Yeah,
but it's
okay.
like I don't think it's really a big deal at the end of the day. And if I guess one of the big differences, like Elden Ring was a game that I am always going to keep pushing on. Like I love that game and I love, you know, everything about it. And it's like one gate for me to pass is not going to turn me away.
Yeah.
Where if there's a game that you don't really like that much and the community wants you away, it's with Helldivers. Like if you don't really love Helldivers and the community's like, yeah, get the hell out of here, I don't think there's any harm in just like not fighting that battle. Because if you don't love that game, you don't need to try to appease them.
Yeah, that was just an interesting thing. But yeah, anyway, so let's move on from my fun. If anybody's watching this podcast from the Helldivers community, I apologize. Not really, but a little bit, because listen, I just played for the first 2 hours. You know, I actually enjoyed myself. I just didn't enjoy the game that much because I don't like PvE. But we can move along.
That's fine.
I think you want to talk about MW4?
Yeah, let's do it.
MW4. So MW4, we got a little bit of some leakies that are coming out from I guess a pretty verified source. Let me make sure I'm giving the source the right. I think it's Reality,
Don't say the Ghost
right?
of Hope.
No, it was
Don't
Reality.
say the Ghost of Hope.
So Reality. Let me just read this off to you guys. No Omni movement. Slide canceling returns. No melee slot, no ADS while sliding, tack sprint returns, visual recoil for MW4 weapons is on par with MW2, and DMZ is returning with its own maps. So, if I can go real quick,
please.
This will probably be me taking a year off from Call of Duty if this is what actually releases. Just want to be upfront. MW2. This sounds like MW2 2.0. And MW2 was my worst nightmare. Everything I hated about that game, it just, oh man. I don't know. I don't know about this one.
So wait, did you say red dots on minimap?
Red dots on minimap are there.
Okay. I mean, that's big. That's very different to MW2.
That is true. And if the perk system, okay, so let's try to make this game good. Perk system is the same as normal. You know, you don't have to earn them over time. Red dots on the minimap are back. Dead silence is not a perk, or is a perk, not a field upgrade. All right.
No,
listen,
Omni movement is weird to me because I don't know.
I can see them not, but you don't see them not liking it. Like I can see them hating that.
True. I mean, fair, but to me, like Omni movement feels more than just a gimmick, as in like how jetpacks are a gimmick a little
Right.
bit. Omni movement feels like, oh, this is like what the base layer of first person shooters should feel like now. Like it almost feels like as foundational as ADS
Okay.
to me.
Yeah.
It feels so. It just feels like an evolution of a mechanic that we've used for so long that needed to get there. That I don't see why we ever go back. I don't see it as a gimmick. I don't see it as a style choice. I see it as that's what should be built off of, because it makes the most sense, especially for an analog controller. Now, I will say, if they are doing tac sprint, then I can kind of see why they wouldn't want Omni movement, because as I said, tac sprint is a very forward moving thing where it doesn't work well with Omni movement. That was my problem with BO6, and that alleviated a lot when they added slipstream to multiplayer. That was, no tac sprint, but your base movement's a little bit faster. That
Yeah.
was amazing. I was like, this works. But if they're going to have tac sprint, then I guess getting rid of Omni movement makes sense. Would I prefer that? Probably not. I don't really care for tac sprint, but that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, do you think that this is one of those instances where we have the 1 year and they feel different? Or you think that is that a little bit too drastic? Like that's almost kind of going back to 2008 and 2010. Like,
Do
just
you mean that we've had a separation of
yeah, like
Modern Warfare games,
okay, like Infinite Warfare, or I'm sorry, Infinity Ward. 2009 had quick drop shotting and quick quick scoping, and then BO1 had dolphin diving, and you couldn't quick scope. So they were very different games. Yeah. But then you knew like MW3 was going to come back. True. So I mean, it could be one of those situations where they're coming back to that, like, okay, if we miss this crowd this year, we're going to come back for that crowd next year.
Yeah, now, I guess. Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, I think a lot of people that really like tac sprint and they like the slightly more grounded approach, the more realistic. I use that in heavy quotations. But they like that style of Infinity Ward. Maybe they will be brought back by this. But yeah, maybe it's different flavors for different people. I'm not massively into the like new hyper realistic kind of COD. Like I've always preferred a more arcadey look and feel, but that's even going back to like old Infinity Ward. They were never hyper realistic, but they had they had an identity. They had a flair. They had like a sauce that was verifiably IW.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I like Modern Warfare 2019. I also didn't care for MW2, but I don't have as much disdain for it as you do. MW3 is kind of weird, but I think it all depends on what they do directionally with Modern Warfare 4. What I'm really concerned about primarily is like the story and the campaign, because with how bad MW3's campaign was, I'm like, they got to do some real heavy lifting to make that interesting again, if they can at all. That's kind of where my head goes first. But
well, I think how they'll do this one is if Black Ops 7, maybe those features are like in limbo. Like if Black Ops 7 gets super highly praised and it becomes game of the year, not game of the year, but like a good, like a well-received game. I don't think Call of Duty is ever going to win Game of the Year ever again. But
can you imagine though if it did?
Dude, that would be amazing. But maybe they have those just in waiting, and it's like, all right, if people like this version of Omni movement where it's a little toned down, I'm sure they can easily turn it on, because aren't we all on the same engine now? Like it's probably a flip of a switch. So, and then,
I think a lot is still subject to change.
That's what I'm thinking. Sure. I'm thinking that they'll monitor how this game, because nobody's probably played this game, even, the swags of the world and everything. I'm sure they haven't even seen it or heard about it. So I'm assuming all this will be on standby. It's kind of my opinion. And then if this gets well received, also
game dev. It's like not only are they waiting to see what BO7 does, but it's also like they have a lot of time just to figure out what they're doing. Even BO7 does. Like the game's not out yet. They're still that's part, like, okay, not to get off on this tangent real quick, but a lot of people were saying that the people that went to the event that played it early, they're saying that we like haven't like given as much details as we should. The big thing is that they aren't allowing us to give a lot of details on what we played because most of it is subject to change. Like all the stuff that we played, I'm sure they want a lot of feedback on because it's not final. And so for us to give it like our thoughts on things that aren't even final yet and that probably will change before the game comes out just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I just think a lot is subject to change with BO7, but even more so with Modern Warfare.
Yeah. I think Modern Warfare has a chance to be good, but you know, MW2 I didn't like. I think they botched the story. I think at this point they need to kind of like call it Modern Warfare 4, but I think it needs to be, and I think we kind of know it's supposed to be in a different area, like South Korea, North Korea war or something, but it definitely needs to happen because if they go back and try to continue that story.
Well, do you think if they're calling it Modern Warfare 4, do you think they're gonna, continue? Are we looking for Makarov? Like,
I'm trying to think.
I'm curious, is that the end? Because if so, I actually want to make a full video about the new Modern Warfare storyline. I have a lot to say on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to continue it in MW4, which I would imagine they would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking of some sort of like extra timeline. I'm trying to think of like a movie or something that did that where like almost like I'm trying to think of a movie, but like I know I've seen a movie before where like the character that was the main villain in the game before or the movie before got caught early on in the next movie and like they just wrapped it up real quick.
The Last Jedi.
Is that what it was? I don't know what movie I'm thinking of. They killed
the big bad Snoke in The Last Jedi. I mean,
kind of like
you got Star Wars posters behind you. They killed Snoke and then they're like, oh, we don't have our big bad for the final third movie. Let's bring back Palpatine.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's even kind of like BO3. Like BO1 and 2 are at least more structurally connected from a story perspective. BO3 is, but not really. Like,
yeah,
if you're looking at it very surface level, you get one mention of Menendez, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
like, which
is crazy.
Again, BO3 campaign mentioned. I know I do it every podcast, but I'm just curious what they do with this next game because I don't know where you go. I'm like, do you try to pick up the pieces of this really scuffed story, or do you just do something totally different?
I think they quickly wrap up Modern Warfare 3 story and move on to like this next thing. I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, but I think I mean go ahead. I'm about to go.
I was just gonna say, like, my final thoughts on for what they should do with Modern Warfare 4, if it were up to me, is I kind of think it would be cool from a story perspective if they set it up where it's like you think it's going to continue Modern Warfare 3, or oh my god, we got to go find Makarov. We're going to spend the whole game tracking down Makarov, blah blah blah. But maybe it happens like in the very first mission, that whole thing gets resolved, and then we cut to like a totally different story for the rest of the game.
I agree.
That's kind of what you're saying. I think.
Like, I think that would be perfect.
Would be sick. Like the little threads that we had for the last 3 games, they get wrapped up because no one really cares.
Yeah.
And then we set up something brand new that's really cool.
That's what I'm thinking.
It'd be a nice subversion too. It would like be I'm always an advocate for campaigns taking risks. BO7's campaign is taking a lot of risk with like their end game stuff. And again, it might not work out, but I'm going to give them credit for trying because that's what Black Ops is.
Yeah.
It's pushing that boundary of like, what can we do? And BO3's campaign, BO3 mentioned, it's really interesting, doesn't really work, but they tried it, and I'm like, that was cool. BO2's campaign does work, and it's great, and it did push boundaries. Same with BO1. BO4 tried to do a campaign thing, didn't really work out, didn't even really get out the door, but they tried.
Yeah.
Cold War played it kind of safe, admittedly, still solid. BO6 played it extremely safe. And my clock on that was that the BO6 campaign is basically a Modern Warfare campaign wearing the skin of Black Ops.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm hoping BO7 is different in that capacity. And I think Endgame will already make it a little bit different in that way. But we'll see.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm excited. I'm just gonna say it. I'm excited for the game. I'm looking forward to having more zombies.
I
stuff
am
to
too.
Play.
Yeah. You get another year of zombies.
End game stuff. Yeah. A year of zombies is never really a bad thing for me. Like, I'm in,
Yeah.
like I'm it's going to be a good year for me at least. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm hoping that people enjoy the multiplayer enough to consume the content like they did in MW3. Like MW3 was very good for multiplayer content.
Sure.
And and BO6 was terrible. Like the amount of people that I saw stop making content or like move to something else or just not do as well. It was kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I also think that like making content like if you're just a multiplayer guy is really difficult. And maybe people would say that about my community in zombies, like, oh, if you have to make content that's just about COD zombies, that's really difficult. And maybe it is. Maybe it's hard for both. But I look at the multiplayer community and I'm like, must be tough to like consistently make content, even on older games, low key. Like, but some people do it and they manage to do great. And I hope they manage to do even better in BO7.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, Sam, I just really wanted to talk about the carry forward thing because and I wanted to clear up that like it's like my opinion has never been purchased. I look at this stuff as like getting to be a mouthpiece for the community as much as I can be. And I try to push for change where it's needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited though. I'm gonna play the game. I'm going to unapologetically play BO7 and Battlefield 6. I like both games.
Hey,
they're both gonna be fun. They both are fun. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the year.
Yeah. Cancel Chop for wanting to play both games and shut it down.
Shut it down, baby.
Well, that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 39, approaching 50. I forgot to look at our reviews again, Chop. I should do it real quickly. I want to look at
why don't you pull them up?
How many reviews do we have on Spotify? Because I always like to look at this because it is. I feel like it's kind of crazy.
It is. And, like, I think about it all the time that there are people out there that give us an hour or more of their day just to listen to us yap about Call of Duty and our silly opinions. But I genuinely am really thankful for that. Like so lucky to be in this position, and I appreciate all you guys for giving us your time, lending us your ear.
379 reviews.
That's what I'm talking about.
4.9 rating. So one of you out there ruined our 5-star rating, and that's disgusting behavior. I don't know what we did. Maybe it was the guy that. I think I fixed my mic. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up very quickly at the end too. I know this podcast has been a lot about me, but
I saw people saying it. Whatever was wrong with your mic.
So I had a bunch of gain on. So if you're listening to the podcast,
was it peaking a little bit?
It might have been peaking a little bit. I tried to do my best in the settings of my mic. I hope I fixed it for you. If I did, please comment. And if you never noticed it, just completely ignore what I said. Okay.
Hey, you got the bad mic. I got the bad camera.
We're two peas in a pod there, but
so I'm talking about.
Thank you guys all for reviewing. Thanks for watching. We will be back on a regular basis. Chop is not traveling as much now. Summer is ending.
Finally home.
So you're gonna see us probably weekly, and I still think that me and you can talk about other games still. If something big happens in the community we can do COD with something else, we're going to try to do that. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. There's so many interesting games coming out this fall and 2026 that I'm going to have too much to say, and I'm gonna have to whittle down what I want to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna be here. Like I said, I'm home now. Finally, no more traveling for a while. I will get to go to COD next. That will be fun. But other than that, good. I will be at home.
So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow us on social media.
Channels too.
Yes, subscribe as BO7 to both of our YouTubes. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you in the next one.